Hi friends, it's Mrs. Orrock. Today I will be teaching you lesson 7. It's gonna be pretty cool. Now, so far we've been dealing with mixed units of capacity and then kind of an overall of measurement. But today, instead of mixed units of capacity, we're going to be working with mixed units of length. It's gonna be pretty exciting stuff. So let's get started. Hello, my friends. Today we are going to be going on a little adventure, measuring things using measuring tape. What can we measure? My challenge for you is to go around your house and try to measure things if you don't have a measuring tape, which you should. But if you don't, you can use a ruler or measuring, I don't know, whatever measuring tool that you have. I'm going to be measuring some random items. And so let me think here. What do I want to measure today? First thing we're going to measure is how big this hole is that Pearl has made. And she loves to dig holes, loves it. And I don't love it, but I'm going to measure anyway. So let's measure how big this hole is. Now, what I'm going to measure is how many, wow, you are really good at getting in my way. Goodness, this is challenging y'all with You are such a stinker bug. Get out of here. Okay, so we're gonna measure how wide, okay, the diameter of our hole, of like the length here, and then how deep, hey, okay, thank you. So let's just see how wide it is first. If you bite this, I will bite you. So we're gonna say it's about 10 inches. Hey, it may not be perfect because I have a crazy dog. And then let's see the the depth of our hole. This is hard work. We're gonna say about two inches, okay? So we got 10 inches diameter and 2 inches in depth. Next challenge is to see the difference in length between our dog here. Wow, she would just stand still. Guys, this is challenging. All right, we're gonna say she's about, let's say she's about 16 inches in length. That may be true, that may be not. She would let me measure her. And then I'm gonna measure myself to see how tall I am. So we just measured to see how tall Pearl was, or in length, and now we're gonna see the length of Mrs. Orrock. Now make your guesses. I had a student the other day that guessed I was 6'4". That is not true. I am not 6'4". But let's see how tall I am. I am, let's see, you gotta be really precise here. I am about, what do you think? How tall is Mrs. Orrock? I am, got it for you here, gotta find it, 5 feet, almost, about, I'm approximating here, 5 feet and 8 inches. So I'm 5'8", let's say. Okay, that's about, I'm probably a little bit under that. So yeah, what would be the difference between my length and Pearl's length? Thanks for joining me on that little adventure. So remember, length is simply when you measure with tools that could measure metric or customary. So you have yards and you have miles and you have inches and you have feet, etc., etc. Lots of different ways to measure length. Please enjoy this video that will give further explanation.
All right, this is 4th grade, Module 7, Lesson 7. And in this lesson, students are going to be solving problems with mixed measurements, only this time we're only going to be focusing on length. So like feet, inches, yards, etc. So let's get started. So what we've got here is we're supposed to be adding and subtracting. So let's zoom in on F. So F says we've got 7 inches, plus we have another 7 inches. So we can add those together. There's one way to do it, which is 14 inches. But then we need to remember that those 14 inches is really a bundle of 12 inches plus 2 inches. And that those 12 inches right there, that's 1 foot. And then we have 2 inches left over. So there's our 1 foot and 2 inches. And while we're zoomed in, let's do H. So H is saying we've got 2 feet. Now take away 6 inches. Okay, so I'm going to, well, let's start with just writing it down. 2 feet minus 6 inches. And so it says to take away 6 inches, but we don't have any inches. We only have feet. So let's take those 2 feet and break them apart into 1 foot plus 12 inches. So now we've got 1 foot and 12 inches. Now we can take away our 6 inches. So when we take away those 6 inches, that leaves us with 6 inches. Oops. Let's undo. And so that leaves us with 6 inches. So we end up with 1 foot, 6 inches, 1 foot, 6 inches. Now, another way to think of that is we could have drawn a picture. We could have said, well, let's draw a picture of 2 feet. So here's a picture of 2 feet, 0 to 1, and then 1 to 2. And we could have said, so let's label that 2 feet. And we could have said, well, that's 1 foot plus 12 inches, and that's a visual of what we could have, how to explain it to your students of what we're doing up there. It's a visual. And then the last way we could have thought about that same problem. So I'm going to write it down, 2 feet minus 6 inches. Another way is to think of it on a number line. And we could say, well, we're going to start way down here at 6 inches, and we want to figure out what do we have to add to 6 inches to get all the way up to 2 feet. And we could have said, well, first you could add 6 inches. One way is to add 6 inches, and that would get you to 1 foot. And then add another foot, and that will get you to 2 feet. So what did we have to add all together? Well, we needed to add 1 foot plus 6 inches. And that's our answer to the subtraction problem. So we got a variety of ways for how we can solve these problems with addition and or subtraction. More of the same, just a little bit more complicated kinds of problems. Oh, for example, let's zoom in on C, problem C. So problem C is saying we've got 5 yards and 1 foot. Now take away 2 feet. Well, we don't have enough feet over here to subtract 2 feet. So let's take a yard. So we're going to have 4 yards and break that yard into 3 feet. So now we're going to have 4 yards plus 3 feet. That's the 5 yards. Plus we have another foot left over still. So together we now have 4 yards and 4 feet. And it says to take away 2 feet. So when 4 feet take away 2 feet, that gives us 2 feet. And we have the 4 yards still left over. So there's our answer, 4 yards and 2 feet. That's one way to do it. There's other ways, but that's just one way. As long as we're zoomed in, let's take a look at problem E. So this is an addition problem, 7 feet, 8 inches plus 5 inches. Well, we're going to take our inches and add them together. That's going to give us 13 inches, plus we have the 7 feet. And we need to know that 13 inches, well, that's really 1 foot plus 1 extra inch. So how many feet do we have all together? We have 8 feet all together, and we have 1 little inch left over right here. I think that's all we need to do on this, because this is more of the same. So parents and teachers, I think first off, notice there's a lot of work here. Be thoughtful about how many of these problems you're going to expect your students to do. Just provide a nice little mix of some addition, some subtraction. You don't have to do all of the problems. So some word problems to practice this concept with. So it says Lori bought 9 feet 5 inches of blue ribbon. She also bought 6 feet 4 inches of green ribbon. How much ribbon did she buy all together? So you've got the blue and you've got the green. And the blue is 9 feet 5 inches. And then the green is 6 feet 4 inches. And the question is, how much did she buy all together? So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to add 9 feet 5 inches plus 6 feet 4 inches. We can add our feet to our feet. That's 15 feet. And we can add our inches to our inches. We get 9 inches, and we are done. No, there is no measurements that need to be renamed. You know, we can't break them apart and cash it in for a larger one or something. So there's our answer, 15 feet, 9 inches. So another practice, the length of the room is 11 feet 6 inches. The width of the room is 2 feet 9 inches shorter than the length. What is the width? So you got your length. It's 11 feet 6 inches, 11 feet 6 inches. And then you've got your width, and it's shorter. And it's shorter by 2 feet 9 inches. So what is that width? So the question is, what is the width? So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to take that length, and we're going to subtract the 2 feet 9 inches. And that's going to give us the answer. So let's do that. So we're going to have 11 feet 6 inches subtract 2 feet 9 inches. Well, if we're thinking about the inches, we don't have enough inches to take away the 9 inches. So we're going to take a foot and cash it in for 12 inches. So we now have 18 inches and 10 feet. Take away 2 feet, 9 inches. So now we could take the feet from the feet, and we get 8 feet. And we could take the inches from the inches and get 9 inches. And that is our answer, 8 feet 9 inches long. That is the width of the room. So this is a fun problem. And so I'm going to first zoom in, and we're going to read it. So Tim's bedroom is 12 feet 6 inches wide. The perimeter of the rectangular shaped bedroom is 50 feet. What is the length of Tim's bedroom, and how much longer is the length than the width? So a lot of stuff going on here. So I'm going to kind of put that up at the top because we need a little bit of extra room here. And we're going to draw, and I never remember which is, length, which is width. So it doesn't really matter. So we're going to say that the Tim's bedroom is 12 feet 6 inches wide. So I'm going to label this one 12 feet 6 inches wide, which means this length up here is also 12 feet 6 inches wide. We don't know the length, and we don't know the length, but we know that they're the same. They're both the same. And so now the idea is, well, how do we figure this out? Well, remember that the entire perimeter, entire perimeter is 50 feet, meaning if we traveled boom, 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 all the way around the building, we would travel 50 feet. So far, we've got 12 feet, 6 inches, plus another 12 feet, 6 inches. So what is that total? That's 25 feet. 25 feet, because 6 inches plus another 6 inches is a foot. And then 12 feet plus 12 feet is 24 feet, plus that extra foot is 25 feet. So far, we've used 25 feet. So when you add this and this, you get 25 feet. So if we know all the way around is 50 feet, well, that means this guy and this guy is also 25 feet. So 25 plus 25 is 50. So that means these guys are also, what a trick question, 12 feet 6 inches. Because they're also, this guy and this guy has to be 25 feet. And so we already know the answer. It's got to be 12 feet 6 inches. So how much longer is the length than the width? It isn't. It's 0 inches longer, because they're identical. And that wraps up 4th grade Module 7, Lesson 7, solving problems involving mixed units of length.
Thank you for joining me, 4th graders, today. I have been having way too much fun this week, trying to think of ways to do measurement around our homes. And yeah, just feeling really grateful that I get to teach you this week. So you guys have a great Wednesday, and I will see you mañana. Adios.